Guarding this place is really boring.
Yeah, sucks. Aren't you good at impersonating a Russian guard?
Up! Down.
Okay.
Right! Left.
Okay.
Alright.
Yes. And what's the big step?
Big step. Look up. 3, 2, 360! 3,
Okay.
2, 360! Always look where you shoot.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So we move up, we move back.
Yes.
360! Down, up! Down, up! Never let them see eyes.
Shit.
Wait, wasn't that supposed to explode already?
You think it would? It usually takes around like 5 seconds for it to explode. A lot has changed in the Call of Duty series as well as the gaming industry in general since 2007. The Call of Duty series has changed from taking place in realistic settings in real time periods to futuristic warfare. Many of us, myself included, want the series to go back to the modern setting as we're slightly tired of all this futuristic combat, especially in the multiplayer. But Infinity Ward really wants to tell a story that takes place in the future, and to be honest, I'm excited for Infinite Warfare and I can't wait to see how Infinity Ward's newest game stands up against the rest of the series. But regardless, although they really want to venture out to new territory, they know fans still want a modern game. So by pre-ordering select versions of Infinite Warfare, you also get the industry-defining, universally praised game that has been visually remastered from the ground up for next-gen systems. Fans have been asking for this for a long time. We finally get Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. And while it is unfortunate that for now this seems to be the only way to gain access to the game, regardless, Modern Warfare is one of the most influential video games ever made. And here's the important part. When compared to every other remastered game for this generation, such as The Last of Us, Grand Theft Auto 5, the Batman Arkham series, the BioShock series, the Assassin's Creed series, and the Uncharted series, Modern Warfare is without a doubt the best remastered video game of the generation. I'll explain why that is the case, as well as why Modern Warfare is one of the greatest games of the last generation. Taking place in 2011, a civil war is broken out in Russia, and there's also this asshole named Khaled al-Assad doing evil terrorist things like killing the president of an unknown Middle Eastern country. In Modern Warfare, you switch between two characters, Sergeant Soap McTavish for the Brits, and Sergeant Paul Jackson fighting for America. Basically, there are some threats of nuclear warfare and the destruction of America, as well as some crazy things going on in the Middle East, and it's up to you to stop this madness and save the day. Modern Warfare's plot has not aged nearly as well as I imagined. At this point in time, it's relatively cliche, and there's little in the way of narrative twists and deep character moments. The game, and to an extent the Call of Duty series itself, doesn't do a great job establishing some of the scenarios and characters. But regardless, it's a simple action movie tale that paves the way for an incredible adventure that compensates for the lack of an ambitious story. There are some memorable plot twists along the way, but part of Modern Warfare that sticks with you are its characters. By simply fighting alongside these characters, you'll soon grow attached to comrades such as Captain Macmillan, Gaz, Sergeant Riggs, Kamarov, and of course, Captain Price. This is all thanks to the decent script, meaningful voice acting, and Infinity Ward's emphasis on simply creating a relationship with these characters. In 2007, Modern Warfare looked so good, it was one of those games you put in your 7th gen console to show off to your friends how awesome your system was because of how great the game looked. And I'm pleased to say that Modern Warfare Remastered looks absolutely fantastic for a 9-year-old game. So good that it is without a doubt the best looking remastered game of this generation so far. They reworked lighting, facial animation, physics, and they really doubled down on the textures and animations of everything. The level design is the same, the gameplay is the same, it has the same things, it does the same things, but it looks completely new. It looks like a game made for PS4 and Xbox One, and that's an incredible accomplishment. I know Modern Warfare's campaign inside and out, and there were still many moments where I was just stunned as to how better certain moments and events looked than before. It is visually the first remastered game of the generation that earns a second purchase. The wide array of locations and visually pleasing missions are one of the reasons Modern Warfare is a consistently varied, fresh adventure. Each location not only has a sense of place and looks fantastic, but they're also fairly immersive. From the sun-kissed Middle East in both night and day, to the dark, wet, and cold intro mission on the ship, to the snowy peaks of Russia and the green, radiated ghost town of Chernobyl. Besides a few missions during the final act, each level feels completely distinct from one another while also feeling like one cohesive experience. And plus, the visual palette and tone of the Modern Warfare series is still awesome, and I miss it now more than ever. From the green digital text, the modern firearms, modern vehicles, modern environments, and basically modern everything else, Modern Warfare still looks and feels just as awesome as it did when it was first released. Have you ever played Call of Duty before? Yes? Well, regardless, I'm going to explain how they play anyways. You start off each mission with 2 weapons and a bunch of explosive equipment. Your basic actions include aiming, shooting, vaulting, stabbing, crawling, and sprinting. And it's pretty weird to think that this was the first Call of Duty game where you can sprint. With the direction the Call of Duty series has been taking in the past few years, I forgot how important and necessary it was to stick to cover in Modern Warfare. But after an hour of playing, you'll be playing Call of Duty just like it was meant to be, on ground and behind cover. The shooting still feels incredibly responsive, as it not only feels great to shoot down enemies, but the amount of precision and control you have over your character ensures that as long as the AI is cooperating, every death is your fault. In the grand scheme of things, combat has almost been untouched, which means that the game's strong points and weaknesses have not changed at all. The weapons play well and most of them still have their own feel to them, and the level design throughout the entire game is still top notch. But one thing that hasn't changed is the AI. While the enemy AI loves to spam grenades and rush up on you sometimes, that isn't nearly as bad as the friendly AI. Just like almost every other Call of Duty, when you're walking towards your next objective, just admiring the scenery and enjoying the story, your teammates walk slowly and inconsistently. The game never makes it clear when you're supposed to go past your friends or stay behind them, which leads to a lot of bumping around and unnecessary waiting. But they at least updated animations so that their movements look a tad more natural. So besides the AI, the core foundation and gameplay of Modern Warfare is great and is still a blast to play, but part of why Modern Warfare is such an industry-defining title are due to some of its risky, unique, and memorable missions to shake things up. Death from Above, the AC-130 mission, was unlike anything we've seen in video games up to that point, as it feels incredibly realistic. Even nowadays, hearing the characters interact with one another, the specific orders of conversations you have, the visuals, and the actual gameplay itself is just as enthralling, unique, and eerie as it was upon release. And then we also have one of the best levels in first-person shooters, all gillied up. The sniping stealth mission in Chernobyl that takes place 15 years before the main events of the game. Precisely following Macmillan's commands was a lot of fun as you sneak through the grass in your ghillie suit, laying still while guards and tanks pass you by, running through an enemy base unseen, sniping out targets in unison, the epic assassination attempt, and the 15-minute long wave-based defending bit where you wait for the chopper to pick you up. It's an incredible mission that is tense, rewarding, and unlike anything we've seen in shooters up to that point. When you also include moments such as rushing through a ship, maneuvering through a plane in the sky, and the ending chase scene, it's clear that Modern Warfare is an enjoyable ride from start to finish. Modern Warfare's campaign will take you around 5 to 7 hours to complete. Replay value consists of beating the game at a harder difficulty, collecting all the pieces of intel to unlock cheats, playing the game on arcade mode, and of course, Modern Warfare's industry-defining multiplayer, which currently does not come with the game. The multiplayer will be available when Infinite Warfare comes out on November 4th. And before I give you my verdict, if you want to see my review of Infinite Warfare, as well as possibly the multiplayer review for Modern Warfare upon its release, then don't forget to subscribe to BathroomGamers. Modern Warfare is an amazing, industry-defining game. The campaign is a straightforward story full of urgency and passion that has you fight to save the world with a wonderful cast of characters you may grow to love. This linear adventure is a fantastic ride with a large amount of memorable locations, intense firefights, incredible missions, and wonderful sense of progression, all based around a polished, satisfying combat system. Some of the things you'll experience in Modern Warfare are some of the most memorable moments you'll experience in shooters and video games in general. And while the core game is pretty much the same as it was in 2007, the jaw-dropping upgraded graphics are so amazing and improved that the visuals alone are reason enough to go through this wonderful game one more time. Now here's where things get weird. Is it worth pre-ordering deluxe versions of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare to get Modern Warfare Remastered? I say Yes, for two reasons. One, whether you like the futuristic setting for a Call of Duty game or not, Infinite Warfare looks to be a great game with an enjoyable single player and the series defining multiplayer. And two, Modern Warfare's campaign and multiplayer are timeless and absolutely fantastic anyways. Whether you've played the original time and time again, or you've never played the original Modern Warfare and want to see what all the fuss is about, I highly recommend pre-ordering Infinite Warfare, unless you absolutely can't stand the thought of that game until reviews come out. Even if Modern Warfare isn't so modern anymore, there's no denying that it's an absolute classic. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered receives a 9.5 out of 10. So that was my review of Modern Warfare Remastered, but what do you think of it? Or more importantly, what are your thoughts on the idea of only being able to play Modern Warfare by pre-ordering certain versions of Infinite Warfare? Please let me know in the comments below. For future video game reviews, top 10s, and dumb stuff that has to do with bathrooms, then you've come to the right place. Thank you for watching, and stay fresh.